What's going on, Port fans? Welcome back to another video on my channel, and today we're going to be previewing Port Adelaide's big Friday night footy clash against the Demons in what looks to be a massive season-defining game for both sides. So let's have a look and dive in and see exactly what this game looks like it's going to pan out to be. Well, Port fans, it's a big Friday night footy clash. Did not review the Thursday night clash against the Dogs last week. I was away in Melbourne for the weekend for a little trip away, so I didn't get to really have a look at the game. I was there last week though, so it was a massive win for the club, 57 points, in what was a special night as the MND, South Australian edition of the MND organisation, with Neil Danaher, Gil McLaughlin coming over as well, and a special tribute to Todd Marshall too from the fans. Organised by the Albion crowd and all, obviously, the Port Adelaide cheer squad and everyone in the Port community. So well done, and a big congratulations to everyone, and well done to Todd Marshall coming back into the side. A big win, really sets us up, gives us a lot of momentum coming into this week's big Friday night footy clash, which is here at Adelaide Oval once again, our third game in a row at home, and the Portress is back. Honestly, we have only lost the one game there this year, and it looks to me our momentum is going to really help us carry on to be a big force coming into the back end of 2018. So looking at this game, a big game for both sides. The Demons coming off a, what you could say is a blip in the radar for them against Collingwood on Queen's birthday just a couple of weeks ago now. It was a scrappy game for them. They didn't really get much going, but form doesn't just drop off like that, so I'm pretty sure they'll bounce back this week. Friday night footy at the Portress, Port Adelaide with some momentum. It's a top four season-defining clash, I feel. Whoever wins this will probably be that fourth side in the top four. Looking at Port's run home, you'll never really count them out, and you've got Richmond, West Coast and Sydney in the top three, really cemented well there. So the Demons and everyone else below, Geelong, Collingwood as well, Port Adelaide, you've got those four teams who look like they could, especially with everyone's run home, really set themselves up for a great tilt at the Premiership this year. So this is a big clash in terms of the season and top four, but it's also a big clash for certain players as well. You look at Ryder versus Gawn, the two big ruckmen on All-Australian last year. Gawn looks to be the All-Australian for this year. You've got Grundy who can put his hand up there for as well, but the two big name ruckmen coming up against each other, against both very formidable midfields. With you've got the Demons with Viney, Jones, Brayshaw in there, Vince, Oliver. All these names are just staring across, and at the other end of the scale you've got Ollie Wines, you've got Boak, you've got Gray, Rockcliffe is in there, Pollock, Sam Powell-Pepper, all these types of players running through the middle. Wingard's in there now as well. It's a big fight this is going to be, and it's going to be based really on contested footy. And you look at those, you look at the stats for these. Contested possessions is a huge one. You've got Melbourne, who are second, Port are ninth. Port have found some form over the last few weeks in contested footy, and they really base their game on contested footy, Port. The way they move the ball, they'll go from inside to out. They'll give it to the likes of Pollock. They'll give it to Wingard. Sam Gray as well, who's around the packs. Bonner, Darcy Byrne-Jones as well. And the Demons, they're formidable when they attack the footy, and they get it long into their big tools with McDonald and Hogan. Gawn just sets the tone in the ruck, so he was soundly beaten last week against Grundy, but I doubt he will want to be beaten again. So it's going to be a big contest against Ryder, who's obviously had a interrupted year with his Achilles, but nonetheless, he's just an attacking ruckman. He gets on the ground, he gets his ground balls, he can go forward and kick a goal, and he's just going to set. Whoever wins that ruck battle will probably win the game. It's just a very close, it's a close call, really. You can't decide between the two. And you go from that to clearances as well. Port are the first, number one team in the comp for clearances. Melbourne are 8th. Just shows that Ryder gets his hands on the ball, dominates the ruck contest, and our midfield brings the ball out. And that's what makes the contested possession so crucial. Is that if we can get first hands and you get the clearances, you get the best chance at scoring a goal. And obviously the Demons have used that opportunity really well this year. They really score hard when they get their momentum going in the middle. So And turnovers is another too. I mean, they're very even in terms of turnovers. 5th and 6th, both teams are respectively. And if they start scoring from turnovers, it's going to be a high-pressure game. You're going to have to see players that are going to be skillful down forward. I mean, you've got the smalls like Garlett down for the Demons. You've got Robbie Gray down the other end, Wingard, Sam Gray as well for Port. So these teams are going to be fairly even coming into it. And you're going to look at some of the key players when you look at that. So, as I said, you've got Gray. Wines will be in the middle. You've got Dixon down forward as a big target. He's going to have to clunk a few on Friday night. Looks to be pretty clear for the weather too. I know the last couple of weeks have been, misadvertised as such for how the weather's going to pan out. I mean, last week was supposed to absolutely piss down. There was not one drop during the game. There was only 26,000 there. So you look to get 45, even 50 there this week. It's a big game. So yeah, Dixon's going to have to take a few clunks this week against a fairly, I wouldn't say weak backline, but it's a backline that I reckon we could expose as a team, especially if we get it in there nice and quick and nice and clean. Westhoff as well, he's a big name on this sheet because he's had a year to remember. He's in career best form, I feel. He's got career high disposals. He's getting on the scoreboard as of late as well, which is great. When Westhoff is on and he's kicking goals, that's when you know he's really helping the team and he's really knuckling down. And he's in some form at the moment in the Hoff, so he's good and he's one to watch on Friday night. From the Demons, you've got Viney, who's just come back from injury over the last couple of weeks. He's really finding his touch, averaging 23 disposals as well. Oliver is their number one midfielder. He gets in there, he gets the handballs out, really gets the game moving for the Dees out of the middle. So, and once that's the case, they get it in there. They've got Hogan, who can run around as a midfielder. He really gets the goals as well if he's on song. So, and another one too you got to watch this week, especially as Port Adelaide with their young defence, is Tom McDonald. He clunks them, and when he gets them, he kicks the goals. He's kicked bags of 6 last week. He's averaging 4 goals a game since he's been moved forward. So, players like Dougal Howard and Cleary as well. Homshy, if he's in the side, if Jonas doesn't come in, which I'll get to in a minute. If we can knuckle down on those and really keep Tom McDonald out and really pressurise their forward half and their forward movement, the D's, then we'll be fine. Bring the ball out. But it's got to be a clean game of footy from us. And if we can get that right, definitely we'll have a great chance of pipping the D's in Friday night footy. Not much changes will occur. I feel that, if anything, they're going in unchanged. Jack Watts had a fantastic game in the SANFL last week, keep booting 3 and having 17 touches. Jack Trengove, another 27 disposals, 2 goals, 2 ex-Demons. Can you see him coming in? Probably not, depending on if there's any niggles that occur during the week. Jonas looks most likely he'll come back into the side. Darcy Byrne-Jones is another that had a little niggle last week. A little bit of hamstring awareness, as they say. But I feel they'll both... Well, Jonas especially may come in. Probably the only one I'd swap out is Jack Homps because he wasn't really around last week. He didn't really have much of an influence. So probably that straight swap will probably occur. And DBJ looks most likely he'll pull up okay. He's got to obviously try. I'm filming this on the Tuesday, so they'll train Wednesday. And he's got every chance to pull up. So I don't see many changes for Port this week. And unfortunately, I can't see Jack Watts making back to play against his old side unless... Todd Marshall comes out, which Ken Hinkley has gone on the book to strongly say he will play this week. So, unfortunately, I don't think Jack Watts will come into the side. All right, predictions for the week. I think Port Adelaide will get the job done by 17 points in a tightly fought contest, but I reckon it'll be quite a high-scoring game. And another thing, too, is we've got to kick straight. And if we don't kick straight, then you can write this game off. But I feel that we'll get the job done quite closely, but I reckon we're in for a good fight against the D's. And BOG, I reckon, let's go with Chad Wingard. I reckon he's really set the tone the last couple of weeks, getting a 30-plus possession game and having another, I think, 28, 29 last week as well. So if he can be on song in the middle, he'll get 30. And I reckon he'll get on the scoreboard too with a bag of 3. So it's going to be a very tight contest, but let's hope the boys get the job done on Friday night footy. Well, Port fans, that wraps up this preview for round 14 already during the season. We're over halfway now, pushing towards the back end of the season, and Friday night is going to be no different. with a very tight contest. Get to the ground. We want to fill Adelaide Oval, fill up the Portress, and make it as loud and as hostile as possible for the Demons and their fans that will travel over. So get to the game if you haven't got your ticket already. Thank you very much for tuning in, Port fans, on Spreaker as well. If you have not checked it out already, Port Fan Radio, ThePear podcast is on there. So if you can't watch me, at least get on there and have a listen as well to see what we're going on every week about Port Adelaide. And that's a good leeway into subscribe to the channel if you are new for plenty more Port Adelaide content as well. The Portress podcast is 8 PM every Wednesday, so tune in for that. And that's it. I'm done for the week. I'll see you at the game. Thank you very much for tuning in, Port fans. My name is Anthony, and as always, can ThePear!